The champagne flute slipped from my fingers and shattered against the marble floor of Meredith's pristine kitchen. Pink liquid splashed across my black dress, the same dress I'd worn to the hospital 3 weeks ago. Jesus, Kendall, Clint barely looked up from his phone. Mom just had those floors redone. My name is Kendall, and I used to think broken things could be fixed. I was wrong about a lot of things back then. I'm sorry. The words came out automatically, like they had every day since the miscarriage. Sorry for bleeding through the sheets. Sorry for crying during dinner. Sorry for existing in a space that wasn't supposed to hold grief. Meredith appeared with a towel, her lips pressed into that familiar line of disappointment. It's fine, dear. Accidents happen. She knelt to clean up my mess, her movements sharp and efficient, though perhaps we should focus on happier things, like Zara's wonderful news. Zara, the golden child, the miracle baby after 5 years of trying, the reason I was standing in this kitchen instead of curled up in my bed where I belonged. The party planning will be therapeutic, Clint had said 3 days ago. You need something positive to focus on. I need time to grieve, I'd replied. You've had time. It's been 3 weeks. 3 weeks. As if grief operated on a schedule, as if my body hadn't spent 9 weeks growing something that would never take its first breath. Kendall? Zara's voice floated from the living room. Can you come help me with the color scheme? I stepped carefully around the broken glass and found Zara sprawled across Meredith's white sectional, surrounded by fabric swatches and Pinterest printouts. Her hand rested on her still flat stomach in that protective way pregnant women do, even when there's barely anything to protect yet. I'm thinking blush pink and sage green, she said, not looking up from her phone. Very organic, very authentic. What do you think? It's beautiful. The lie tasted like champagne and regret. I knew you'd get it. You always had such good taste. She finally looked at me, her eyes bright with the kind of joy I'd forgotten existed. This is going to be perfect. The whole family together celebrating new life. New life. The words hit like a slap. I found some inspiration photos, I managed. Let me grab my laptop. I escaped to Meredith's guest room, where I'd been storing party supplies. Boxes of decorations covered the bed, tissue paper flowers, balloon arches, custom napkins that cost more than most people's grocery bills. All for someone else's miracle. I opened the antique dresser to grab my laptop bag and froze. Tucked behind a stack of old magazines was a phone. Not Zara's current iPhone with the rose gold case, but an older model with a cracked screen protector. I shouldn't have touched it. Should have left it where it was and minded my own business, but grief makes you reckless, and I was drowning in it. The phone buzzed to life when I picked it up. Still connected to Wi Fi. Still logged into Instagram under an account I didn't recognize. Isa Riley 2019. Zara's maiden name, but not her main account. The DM notification showed one unread message from Midnight Caller 47. My thumb hovered over the screen. This was wrong. This was a violation of privacy. This was miss you from last night. Can't wait until we don't have to be secret anymore. The message was time-stamped 2 days ago. 2 days ago, when Zara was supposedly at a prenatal yoga class. My hands started shaking. Not the grief shakes I'd become accustomed to, but something sharper. Something that felt almost like hope, if hope could be twisted into something dark and hungry. Kendall? Clint's voice carried down the hall. Did you find those photos? I slipped the phone into my laptop bag and walked back to the living room on unsteady legs. Sorry, I said, settling next to Zara on the couch. Had to dig around a bit. No problem. She squeezed my hand. I'm just so grateful you're doing this. It means everything to have family support. Family? The word felt different now. Heavier. Of course, I said, watching her face carefully. That's what family does. We're there for each other through everything. Exactly. Her smile was radiant, perfect, the kind of smile that belonged on magazine covers and Christmas cards, the kind of smile that hid secrets. I squeezed her hand back and started planning a party that would change everything. That night, I sat in my car outside a 24-hour diner, scrolling through Zara's secret Instagram account. The phone's cracked screen cast strange shadows across the photos, selfies from hotel bathrooms, artfully cropped shots of champagne glasses, pictures of lingerie I'd never seen her wear around Tobias. The DMs went back months. Dozens of them. Room 412 at the Marriott, same time as always. Loved the way you looked at me during dinner. T had no idea. Can't stop thinking about what you did to me yesterday. My coffee had gone cold an hour ago, but I couldn't stop reading. Each message was a small knife cutting away the last threads of the life I thought I knew. My phone buzzed. Noelle. Where are you? Clint called looking for you. I typed back quickly. At the diner on 5th. Can you come? 20 minutes later, Noelle slid into the booth across from me. She took one look at my face and signaled the waitress for coffee. You look like hell, she said. What's going on? I slid Zara's phone across the table. Read the DMs. Noelle's eyebrows shot up as she scrolled. Holy shit, Kendall. Where did you get this? Found it at Meredith's. It's Zara's backup account. Jesus. Noelle kept reading, her expression growing darker. This goes back to January. She's been cheating on Tobias for months. While they were trying to get pregnant. While you were. Noelle stopped herself, but we both knew what she was going to say. While I was losing mine. The timing of some of these messages. I pulled the phone back and showed her a screenshot I'd taken. Look at this date, February 14th. Thanks for making Valentine's Day special. That was the day after my D&C. Noelle's face went pale. Kendall. I was bleeding in a hospital bed, and she was fucking some random guy in a hotel room. The words came out flat, emotionless. Then she came to visit me with flowers and told me everything happens for a reason. Who is he? This midnight caller guy? I don't know yet, but I'm going to find out. Noelle leaned back in the booth. What are you thinking? I'm thinking I'm tired of being the family disappointment. The broken one. The one who can't get her shit together. You just lost a baby 3 weeks ago. You're allowed to. Am I? I laughed, but there was no humor in it. Because, according to Clint, I should be over it by now. According to Meredith, I should be grateful for the chance to celebrate new life. According to Zara, maybe motherhood just isn't in my path. She said that. Yesterday, while I was hand dyeing napkins for her party. Noelle reached across the table and grabbed my hand. What do you need from me? Help me figure out who he is. We spent the next hour going through every photo, every message, looking for clues. The mystery man was careful. No face shots, no identifying information. But he wasn't perfect. Wait. Noelle zoomed in on a mirror selfie Zara had sent. Look at the reflection. In the background, barely visible, was the edge of a tattoo on a man's shoulder, a compass rose with intricate detailing. I've seen that before, I said, my heart starting to race. Where? I closed my eyes, trying to remember. Pool parties at Meredith's house, barbecues, family gatherings where I'd felt like an outsider looking in. Clint's business partner, I whispered. Michael. Michael? Andrea's husband? The pieces clicked into place with sickening clarity. Michael, who'd been Clint's best friend since college. Michael, who'd been at every family dinner, every holiday, every celebration. Michael, who'd hugged me at the hospital and told me how sorry he was for my loss. Oh my God. Noelle's voice was barely audible. Kendall, if this is true, it explains everything. The travel schedule that lines up with Zara's spa days, the way he always volunteers to pick her up from events, the way Andrea's been complaining about him working late. I pulled up Zara's calendar on the phone. Every yoga class and girls' trip corresponded with messages from Midnight Caller. What are you going to do? I looked at my reflection in the diner window. For the first time in weeks, I didn't see a broken woman staring back. I saw someone with purpose. I'm going to plan the most beautiful gender reveal party this family has ever seen. Kendall. And then I'm going to burn their perfect little world to the ground. Noelle was quiet for a long moment. Then she smiled, sharp and dangerous. What do you need me to do? The next morning, I called Andrea. Brunch today? I need to get out of the house. Of course, honey. You sound better. I'm so glad you're focusing on the party planning. It's exactly what you need. We met at her favorite cafe, the one with the overpriced avocado toast and Instagram worthy latte art. Andrea looked perfect as always. Blonde highlights fresh, workout clothes that cost more than my car payment, The kind of effortless beauty that came from having a personal trainer and a dermatologist on speed dial. You look good, she said, hugging me. Really? I was worried about you. Thanks, I'm trying to stay busy. I slid into the booth across from her. How's Michael? I feel like I haven't seen him in forever. Oh, you know how it is. Work's been crazy. He's traveling constantly. Andrea stirred her oat milk latte. Sometimes I feel like a single woman. Where's he been going? Chicago mostly. Some big client. He's there like twice a week. She rolled her eyes. I told him he should just get an apartment there at this point. Chicago. I made a mental note. Zara's spa retreat last month had been in Chicago. That must be lonely. It is, but the money's good and we're trying to save for the house renovation. Andrea leaned forward conspiratorially. Plus, between you and me, I think he's having some kind of midlife crisis. New clothes, new cologne, working out obsessively. New cologne? Yeah, this expensive stuff. Tom Ford or something. Smells amazing, but it's like $300 a bottle. She laughed. I told him if he's going to spend that much on cologne, he better be coming home to me more often. Tom Ford. In one of the Zara's mirror selfies, there had been a distinctive black bottle on the hotel nightstand. Men are weird about aging, I said carefully. Has he been acting different, besides the travel? Andrea paused, her fork halfway to her mouth. Actually, yeah, more secretive with his phone, and he's been going to the gym at weird hours, like really early morning or late at night. Maybe he's planning a surprise for you. Maybe, but she didn't sound convinced. Why do you ask? Just making conversation. You know how it is when you're planning events. You start noticing everyone's patterns. I smiled. Speaking of which, can you help me with something for Zara's party? Of course. I want to do a timeline of her relationship with Tobias. Cute photos from when they were dating, their wedding, that kind of thing. But I need to make sure I don't accidentally include any photos from when Michael was traveling for work. You know how he hates being in pictures when he's stressed about business. It was a complete lie, but Andrea nodded eagerly. Oh, that's so sweet. Let me check his calendar. She pulled out her phone and started scrolling. Okay, so he was in Chicago February 12th through 15th, March 3rd through 6th, March 20th through 22nd. I memorized every date. They lined up perfectly with Zara's yoga retreats and girls' weekends. And this month? He's there right now, actually. Flew out yesterday, back tomorrow. Yesterday. The same day, Zara had posted an Instagram story about a solo spa day to center herself before the big reveal. You're amazing, thank you. I reached across and squeezed her hand. I know this party planning seems silly, but it's really helping me process everything. It's not silly at all. You're being so strong, Kendall. I don't know how you do it. Strong. If she only knew what I was really doing. After brunch, I drove to Zara's house. She'd given me a key weeks ago so I could drop off party supplies while she was at work. But today I had a different purpose. Her iPad was charging on the kitchen counter, logged into the same iCloud account as the backup phone. I scrolled through her deleted emails looking for hotel confirmations, travel bookings, anything that would give me concrete proof. There. A confirmation email from the Marriott in Chicago, dated last month. Room 412, the same room number from the DMs. But the reservation wasn't under Zara's name or Michael's. It was under M. Riley, Michael's first name, Zara's maiden name. They'd been using fake identities. I screenshotted everything and sent it to my own phone, then deleted the evidence from her recently sent folder. My phone buzzed. A text from Clint. How's the party planning going? Mom wants an update. I typed back, everything's perfect. This is going to be a celebration no one will ever forget. Then I opened my laptop and started researching private investigators. Because if I was going to destroy two marriages and expose a family secret, I needed more than Instagram DMs and hotel receipts. I needed DNA evidence, and I knew exactly how to get it. The private investigator's office smelled like stale coffee and disappointment. Marcus Webb looked exactly like Central Casting would order for grizzled PI, 5 o'clock shadow, wrinkled shirt, eyes that had seen too much. You want me to follow your sister in law and get DNA evidence of an affair? He said, reading from his notes. That's right. And you found out about this affair how? Does it matter? Marcus leaned back in his chair. Lady, I've been doing this for 15 years. Usually, when someone wants DNA evidence, they're trying to prove paternity. Your sister in law is pregnant, right? Right. So you think the baby isn't her husband's? I met his gaze steadily. I think a lot of things. Can you help me or not? I can, but this kind of evidence gathering isn't cheap. We're talking surveillance, lab work, legal documentation. You're looking at 5 grand, minimum. $5,000. Half of what was left in my savings account after the medical bills from the miscarriage. How long would it take? 2 weeks, maybe 3. Depends on how careful they are. They're not that careful. I wrote him a check and slid it across the desk. I need video evidence of them together, and I need a DNA sample from both of them hair, saliva, whatever you can get. What are you planning to do with this information? That's not your concern. Marcus pocketed the check. Fair enough. But, lady, whatever you're planning, make sure you're ready for the consequences. This kind of thing. It destroys families. Some families deserve to be destroyed. That evening, I sat in Noelle's living room, surrounded by the party planning materials and my laptop. She'd agreed to help me edit the surprise video for Zara's gender reveal. This is insane, she said, scrolling through the footage I'd screen recorded from Zara's backup phone. These FaceTime calls are explicit? That's one word for it. Noelle paused the video on a frame where Zara was clearly visible, her face flushed with pleasure. You really want to show this at a family party? I want to show the truth. Kendall, there are going to be kids there. Tobias's parents. Your in-laws. Good. They should all see what kind of person they've been worshipping. Noelle was quiet for a moment, then started typing. Okay, but we're going to do this right. Blur out the explicit parts, focus on the faces and the audio, make it clear what's happening without being pornographic. Can you add a timestamp overlay? To prove when these calls happened? To prove they were happening while I was in the hospital. Noelle's fingers stilled on the keyboard. Jesus, Kendall. February 13th. That's the date I want highlighted. While I was bleeding and crying and being told by your precious family that everything happens for a reason. We worked until midnight, crafting a video that would look like a heartfelt tribute until it wasn't. The first half would be sweet photos of Zara and Tobias, their wedding, family gatherings. Then the tone would shift screenshots of the hotel bookings, the DMs, the FaceTime recordings with faces clearly visible and audio crystal clear. What about the DNA results? Noelle asked. Marcus will have them by next week. I'll add them to the final version. And if the baby is Tobias's? I looked at her steadily. Then I'll delete everything and pretend this never happened. But I knew it wouldn't be Tobias's baby. The timeline was too perfect, the evidence too damning. Michael was the father, and soon everyone would know it. My phone buzzed. A text from Zara. Can't sleep. So excited for the party. You're the best sister in law ever. I showed the message to Noelle, who made a disgusted sound. How can you stand it? Practice. I typed back, can't wait. It's going to be perfect. Everything you deserve. That's cold, even for you. You haven't seen cold yet. The next morning, Clint found me in the kitchen, addressing invitations by hand. You've been working on this party nonstop, he said, pouring coffee. I'm proud of you. This is exactly what you needed. What I needed? To focus on something positive. To be part of the family again instead of wallowing in what, Clint? He paused, realizing he'd stepped in it. You know what I mean. No, I don't. Tell me what I was wallowing in. Kendall, don't do this. Say it. Say what you really think about me losing our baby. Clint set down his coffee cup harder than necessary. Fine. You were wallowing in self pity. Shit happens, Kendall. We move on. We don't spend weeks crying about things we can't change. The invitation in my hand crumpled slightly. Things we can't change. That's right. I smoothed out the invitation and continued writing. You're absolutely right, honey. Some things we can't change, but some things we can. What's that supposed to mean? I looked up at him and smiled. It means this party is going to be exactly what this family needs. Good. Mom's been worried about you. Tell Meredith not to worry. After Saturday, everything will be different. Different how? You'll see. Saturday morning arrived with perfect weather, the kind of crisp October day that made everything look like a magazine spread. I stood in Meredith's backyard at 7 a.m., directing the rental company as they set up tables and chairs. The arch goes there, I called out, pointing to the spot I'd marked with spray paint, and make sure the projector screen is angled so everyone can see it from their seats. Marcus had delivered the DNA results yesterday. 99.7% probability that Michael was the father. The final piece of my puzzle wrapped in a manila envelope that felt heavier than it should. Kendall! Zara's voice rang across the yard. She practically skipped over to me, glowing in a flowing pink dress that showed off her small bump. This looks incredible already. You're amazing. Just want everything to be perfect for you. It will be. I can feel it. She placed both hands on her stomach. This little one is going to have such a beautiful welcome to the world. Speaking of which, where's Tobias? Getting his hair cut. He wanted to look perfect for the photos. Zara laughed. You know how he is about his appearance in family pictures? Poor Tobias. He had no idea this would be the last family photo he'd ever take with his wife. And Michael and Andrea? They'll be here around noon. Michael just got back from Chicago this morning. Zara's cheeks flushed slightly when she said his name. He's been working so hard lately. I'm sure he has. By 11, the backyard had transformed into something from Pinterest: blush pink and sage green everywhere, balloons, flowers, table linens, a dessert table that could feed 50 people, and at the center of it all, a large screen where I'd play the surprise tribute video during the reveal ceremony. Guests started arriving right on time. Meredith held court near the champagne fountain, accepting compliments on the decorations as if she'd planned everything herself. Clint worked the crowd, playing the proud uncle to be. Kendall, darling, Meredith cornered me by the gift table. This is absolutely stunning. I knew you had it in you. Thank you. I hope this experience has shown you how fulfilling it can be to focus on others instead of dwelling on your own troubles. I smiled and adjusted a flower arrangement. It's been very educational. Andrea arrived looking radiant in a yellow sundress, Michael beside her in a navy blazer. He looked tired, the kind of tired that came from living a double life. Kendall! Andrea hugged me tightly. This is gorgeous. You've outdone yourself. Thanks. How was Chicago, Michael? He stiffened slightly. Fine. Just business. Must be exhausting, all that travel. It is. His eyes darted around the party, landing on Zara across the yard. She was laughing with some cousins, one hand resting on her bump, the other gesturing animatedly. Well, I'm sure it's worth it, I said. For the family. Tobias appeared at my elbow, looking handsome in a crisp white shirt. Kendall, this is incredible. Zara's been talking about nothing else all week. She deserves the best. She does. He watched his wife with pure adoration. I can't believe we're finally going to find out if it's a boy or girl. After all these years of trying, my chest tightened. Not with grief this time, but with something sharper: anger at the injustice of it all. This good man, celebrating what he thought was his miracle while his wife carried another man's child. Tobias, I said quietly, whatever happens today, remember that you deserve better than you think you do. He looked confused. What do you mean? Just remember that. At 1 o'clock, I called everyone to gather around the screen. Zara and Tobias sat in chairs of honor at the front, surrounded by family and friends. Michael and Andrea were 3 rows back. Clint and Meredith flanked the happy couple like bodyguards. Before we do the big reveal, I said, holding the microphone with steady hands, I wanted to share something special: a tribute to love, family, and the importance of truth. Scattered applause. Zara beamed at me. This past year has taught me a lot about what family really means, I continued, about loyalty, about honesty, about the consequences of our choices. So I made a little video to celebrate not just this new life, but the truth behind it. I nodded to Noel, who was operating the laptop connected to the projector. The screen flickered to life. The video started sweetly: photos of Zara and Tobias's wedding, family vacations, holiday gatherings. Soft music played in the background. People smiled and pointed at themselves in the photos. Then the music stopped. But every story has another side, my recorded voice said over the speakers, and every family deserves to know the truth. The screen filled with a screenshot of hotel booking confirmations, then the DMs, then the first FaceTime recording, Zara's face clearly visible, her voice unmistakable. The crowd went silent. Someone gasped. A champagne glass hit the ground. Oh my God, Andrea whispered, but I wasn't done yet. The screen now showed a split image, Zara on one side of a FaceTime call, Michael on the other. The audio was crystal clear. I can't wait until we don't have to hide anymore. Zara's voice purred through the speakers. Soon, baby. After the party, we'll figure it out, Michael replied. Tobias shot to his feet. What the hell is this? But the video kept playing, hotel receipts with timestamps, text messages, photos of them together in elevators, restaurants, hotel lobbies. Turn it off, Meredith shrieked. Turn it off right now. Not yet, I said calmly into the microphone. We haven't gotten to the best part. The DNA results filled the screen in stark black and white, official letterhead, laboratory seals, and the conclusion that made several people gasp out loud. Probability of paternity 99.7%. Michael is the biological father. Andrea made a sound like a wounded animal. She turned to stare at her husband, who had gone completely white. Michael? Her voice cracked. Michael, what is this? I can explain. Explain what? Tobias spun around to face him. Explain how you've been fucking my wife. Explain how my baby isn't mine. Tobias, please. Zara reached for him, but he jerked away. Don't touch me. Don't ever touch me again. The crowd erupted, voices overlapping, people standing, chairs scraping against the patio stones. Someone was crying, someone else was shouting. This is insane. Meredith grabbed the microphone from my hands. This is some kind of sick joke. Is it? I took the microphone back because I have months of evidence, hotel receipts, text messages, photos, and DNA proof, unless you think I somehow fabricated all of that while planning this lovely party. Clint stepped forward, his face twisted with rage. You're destroying this family. I'm revealing what this family really is. You vindictive bitch! Clint! Andrea's voice cut through the chaos. She was standing now, shaking. Is this why you've been traveling so much? Is this why you bought new cologne and started working out? Michael opened his mouth, but no words came out. Answer me, Andrea screamed. Is this why you haven't touched me in months because you've been too busy screwing her? Andrea, I. She slapped him. Hard. The sound echoed across the suddenly quiet yard. 15 years, she whispered. 15 years of marriage, and this is how you repay me? Zara was sobbing now, mascara streaming down her cheeks. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. We fell in love. You can't help who you fall in love with. Love? Tobias laughed bitterly. You call this love? Lying to me for months? Letting me think this baby was mine? The baby is innocent in all this, Meredith said desperately. Whatever happened between the adults, that child deserves. That child deserves a father who isn't being lied to, I interrupted. That child deserves parents who aren't living a complete fabrication. You had no right, Zara turned on me, her face twisted with fury. This was none of your business. None of my business? I stepped closer to her. You made it my business when you sat in my hospital room and told me everything happens for a reason. When you told me maybe motherhood just wasn't in my path, all while carrying another man's baby and lying to everyone about it. That's different. Is it? Because while I was losing my baby, you were in hotel rooms with Michael. While I was bleeding and grieving, you were planning your secret life. While your husband was taking care of you through morning sickness, you were texting your lover. The fight went out of her then. She sank back into her chair, still crying. You want to know what I learned about family this year? I looked around at all of them, Clint with his clenched fists, Meredith with her horrified expression, the guests who couldn't look away from the train wreck. I learned that some people will call you family while treating you like garbage. They'll minimize your pain, dismiss your grief, and expect you to smile and play along with their perfect little charade. So you decided to destroy us? Clint's voice was low and dangerous. I decided to tell the truth. If that destroys you, maybe you should ask yourself why. Tobias was gathering his things, his movements sharp and mechanical. I'm filing for divorce Monday morning. Tobias, wait. Zara reached for him again. Don't. Just don't. He looked at her with such sadness it was almost painful to watch. 5 years we tried for this baby. 5 years of doctors and treatments and hope, and all this time. He walked away without another word. Andrea was already gone, her yellow dress disappearing through the garden gate. Michael stood alone in the middle of the chaos, looking like a man who'd just watched his entire life implode. Well, I said, setting the microphone down on the gift table. I'd say the gender reveal was a success. Everyone certainly learned something new today. Clint stepped toward me, his eyes blazing. You destroyed this family. I met his gaze without flinching. It was already destroyed. I just turned on the lights. The house was silent when I got home. Clint's car wasn't in the driveway. He'd left the party right after his mother, both of them looking like they'd witnessed a natural disaster. I poured myself a glass of wine and sat on the couch, still wearing my party dress. My phone had been buzzing nonstop since I left Meredith's backyard, but I ignored it. Whatever fallout was happening could wait. The doorbell rang at 8 p.m. I opened it to find Noelle holding a bottle of champagne and a pizza box. Figured you might be hungry, she said, pushing past me into the living room. Holy shit, Kendall, you actually did it. I did. The video is already all over social media. Someone recorded it and posted it on TikTok. It has like 50,000 views already. She showed me her phone. The shaky footage captured the moment perfectly, Zara's face on the screen, the crowd's horrified reaction, Tobias walking away. The comments are insane, Noelle continued scrolling. Half the people are calling you a hero, half are saying you went too far. What do you think? I think they had it coming. She popped the champagne cork. Where's Clint? Probably at his mother's, planning my execution. Good riddance. We ate pizza in comfortable silence, watching the social media storm unfold in real time. Someone had dug up old photos of Michael and Zara at family events, analyzing their body language. Another person had found Zara's main Instagram account and was commenting on every post from the past year. Look at this, Noelle showed me a comment thread. Someone who knows Tobias is defending you, says the family always treated you like crap and you were just returning the favor. That's probably his sister. She never liked Zara. My phone rang. Andrea's name flashed on the screen. Answer it, Noelle urged. Hello? Kendall? Andrea's voice was raw from crying. Can I come over? I can't be alone right now. Of course. 20 minutes later, Andrea sat in my kitchen, clutching a mug of tea with shaking hands. Her perfect hair was a mess, her makeup long gone. 15 years, she said for the third time. 15 years, and I never suspected anything. You trusted him. That's not a character flaw, isn't it? All those late nights, all those business trips, the new clothes, the cologne, the way he stopped touching me. She laughed bitterly. I thought he was having a midlife crisis. I was planning to surprise him with a weekend getaway to rekindle things. Andrea, I found more evidence after I left the party. Credit card statements, hotel bookings going back 8 months. He's been spending thousands of dollars on her jewelry, dinners, weekend trips. Her voice broke. Money we were supposed to be saving for our house renovation. I'm sorry. Are you? Because you seemed pretty calm up there, like you'd been planning this for weeks. I met her eyes. I had been. Why didn't you tell me privately? Why did it have to be so public? Because private conversations can be denied, minimized, swept under the rug. Public exposure can't be undone. Andrea was quiet for a long moment. The whole family is going to hate you. The whole family already hated me. They just pretended not to. That's not true. Andrea, when I lost the baby, Meredith told me it was probably for the best since I wasn't ready to be a mother anyway. Clint told me to get over it after 3 days. Zara told me maybe motherhood wasn't in my path while she was carrying Michael's baby and lying about it. Andrea stared at me. They said those things? And worse. So, no, I don't feel bad about exposing their lies. I feel bad that you got hurt in the process, but I don't regret what I did. Good. Andrea's voice was stronger now. Because I filed for divorce an hour ago. Emergency petition. I'm taking him for everything he's worth. Good for you. And Tobias called me. He's doing the same thing. We're going to use the same lawyer, pool our resources. She smiled grimly. Turns out your little video is going to be very useful in court. My phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. This is Tobias. Thank you for telling me the truth. I'm sorry for what my family put you through. You deserved better. I showed the message to Andrea, who nodded approvingly. See? Not everyone thinks you're the villain. Clint does. Clint's an ass who chose his cheating sister over his grieving wife. Fuck him. Another text came through, this one from Meredith. You are no longer welcome in this family. Don't contact any of us again. I showed it to Andrea and Noelle, who both started laughing. Oh no, Noelle said sarcastically. However, will you cope without Meredith's warm embrace? I think I'll manage. The doorbell rang again. This time it was a reporter from the local news station asking if I'd comment on the gender reveal scandal that's taking the internet by storm. I closed the door in his face and turned off all the lights. But I was smiling. 3 weeks after the party, I was signing the lease on a downtown loft when my phone rang. The caller ID showed my lawyer's name. The divorce papers are finalized, she said. Clint didn't contest anything. You get the house, half the assets, and he's covering your legal fees. That was fast. Turns out he was eager to distance himself from the whole situation. Bad for his business reputation, apparently. I hung up and looked around my new space. Exposed brick walls, huge windows, hardwood floors that had never seen a drop of anyone else's blood. It was perfect. The moving truck arrived that afternoon. I'd sold most of the furniture from the house I'd shared with Clint, keeping only what mattered. As the movers carried boxes up 3 flights of stairs, Noelle appeared with coffee and donuts. How does it feel? She asked, settling onto my new couch. Like I can breathe again. Any word from the Lawson family? Radio silence, which is exactly what I wanted. But that wasn't entirely true. Tobias had been texting me regularly, updating me on his divorce proceedings and thanking me again for the truth. Andrea had become a real friend, not just a friend by marriage. We'd had dinner twice this week, bonding over our shared experience of rebuilding our lives. What about your new business venture? I grinned and pulled out my laptop. Want to see the website? Unveil Events was already booked solid through the spring. My tagline, Celebrations Built on Truth, had resonated with more people than I'd expected. Apparently, there was a market for event planning with integrity. This is incredible, Noelle scrolled through the testimonials. Look at this one. Kendall helped me plan a divorce party that was more honest than my wedding ever was. That was fun. We served papers instead of cake. And this corporate client? A tech startup. They wanted to announce some layoffs, but do it with dignity and transparency. No corporate bullshit, just honest communication. My phone buzzed. A new inquiry through the website. Hi, Kendall. I saw your story online and I need your help. My husband's been cheating with my best friend and I want to confront them both at our anniversary party next month. Can you help me plan something unforgettable? I showed the message to Noelle, who burst out laughing. You've created a monster. I've created a service. There's a difference. The doorbell rang. I wasn't expecting anyone, but when I opened the door, I found a woman about my age holding a bottle of wine and looking nervous. Are you Kendall? Yes. I'm Sarah. I think you know my story. She held up her phone, showing me a TikTok video with millions of views. My husband was cheating with his secretary. I exposed them at the company Christmas party using your methods. Oh, the karaoke incident. That's me. I wanted to thank you in person and ask if you're hiring. I looked at Sarah, really looked at her. She had the same determined expression I'd seen in my own mirror 3 weeks ago, the look of someone who'd been pushed too far and was ready to push back. What's your background? Corporate law, but I'm done with that. I want to help other women find their power. Come in, let's talk. We spent the evening planning Sarah's role in Unveil Events. She'd handle the legal aspects, making sure our clients stayed on the right side of the law while getting their revenge. By the time she left, I had a business partner and she had a new purpose. The next morning, I was setting up my home office when someone knocked. I opened the door to find Meredith standing on my doorstep, looking older and smaller than I remembered. Hello, Kendall. Meredith. This is unexpected. May I come in? I stepped aside, curious despite myself. She stood awkwardly in my living room, taking in the space. It's nice. Very. You. Thank you. What do you want? Zara lost the baby. The words hit me like a physical blow. What? Miscarriage, last week. The stress, the divorce proceedings, the public humiliation. Meredith's voice cracked. She's in the hospital. I sat down heavily on my couch. I'm sorry. Are you? Yes. I never wanted that. Meredith studied my face. She's asking for you. What? She wants to apologize. She says she understands now what you went through, and she's sorry for how we treated you. I was quiet for a long moment. And you? Are you sorry? Meredith's composure finally cracked. I failed you. When you lost your baby, I should have supported you instead of dismissing your pain. I was so focused on protecting Zara that I forgot you were family too. I was never family to you. I was just the woman who married your son. You're right, and I'm sorry for that too. I walked to the window and looked out at the city below. People going about their lives, carrying their own secrets and pain and hope. Tell Zara I'm sorry for her loss, but I won't be visiting her. I understand. Do you? Because I don't think you do. You came here expecting me to forgive and forget, to come running back because tragedy struck, but that's not how this works. Meredith nodded slowly. You're stronger than I gave you credit for. I always was, you just never bothered to notice. After she left, I sat in my empty apartment and cried. Not for Zara's loss, but for the woman I used to be. The one who would have dropped everything to comfort someone who'd hurt her. The one who put everyone else's needs before her own. That woman was gone, and I didn't miss her. My phone rang. A new client, ready to plan her own moment of truth. I answered on the first ring. Unveil events. This is Kendall. How can I help you take control of your story?